me tell you something that might hurt before it helps. Your life right now is the harvest of your past habits. Not your past hopes, not your past wishes, not your past intentions, your habits. You can pray for breakthrough, you can speak affirmations all day long, but until you get serious about your daily disciplines, nothing will change. God doesn't bless laziness, He blesses diligence. He blesses stewardship. So if you want to change your life in 30 days, don't ask for a miracle, create one with your habits. The first daily habit that will change your life is waking up with purpose. I'm not talking about getting out of bed earlier just to brag about it on social media. I'm talking about rising early to rule over your day before the day rules over you. When you wake up with clarity, gratitude, and intentionality, you stop living life by reaction and start living by design. The world doesn't need another sleepwalking soul. It needs a warrior who wakes up on assignment. Your morning is your foundation, and if your foundation is shaky, don't expect the building to stand. The second habit is feeding your mind before you feed your body. Most people scroll before they stretch. They complain before they give thanks. They consume junk information before they even brush their teeth. Your mind is a garden and your thoughts are seeds. Plant truth, wisdom, and strategy. Read the Word. Read books that expand your thinking. Listen to audios that build your faith and stretch your vision. Because as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. You don't rise above the level of your thinking, you rise to it. And the third habit is moving your body every single day, not because you're trying to impress people, because energy is the currency of execution. And if you're always tired, you'll always settle. Your body is the vehicle of your purpose. If your body is weak, your purpose becomes harder to carry. A strong body equals a strong mind. You don't need a gym membership. You need commitment. You don't need fancy equipment. You need consistency. Motion creates emotion. And momentum begins when you move, not when you feel like moving. The fourth habit is doing the hard things first. Procrastination is the assassination of purpose. Every day there is a frog you need to eat, a hard conversation, an uncomfortable task, a bold move. And if you don't eat that frog, it eats your momentum. Successful people don't avoid difficulty, they attack it. Winners don't wait to feel ready, they move while they're afraid. If you conquer the morning's hardest task, the rest of the day bows in submission. You don't build confidence by taking it easy. You build confidence by doing what most people avoid. The fifth habit is reflecting and planning every night. Don't just collapse into sleep. Conclude your day with wisdom. Ask yourself, what did I win today? What did I waste? What do I need to adjust tomorrow? Write down your goals for the next day. Meditate. Pray. Give thanks. This is how you train your subconscious mind to fight for you while you sleep. Champions don't just run hard, they recover strategically. You can't win tomorrow if you never learn from today. Let me close with this. You don't get what you want in life, you get what you are. And what you are is the sum of what you do daily. You don't become wealthy, disciplined, confident, or influential by accident. You become it by habit. The person you want to be is already inside you, but it's trapped under layers of excuses, distractions, and inconsistencies. The difference between an average life and an abundant one is not talent, not luck, not connection. It's what you do every single day when no one is watching. If you commit to these 5 daily habits, wake with purpose, feed your mind, move your body, do the hard things first, and reflect every night, I promise you this, your life will not just be different in 30 days, it will be unrecognizable. Not because you wished for it, because you worked for it, because you aligned with divine law, because you took dominion over your day instead of letting the day dictate your destiny. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is freedom. Master your habits and you will master your life. Principle over preference means you no longer let how you feel dictate what you do. Most people live life based on emotion. If they feel tired, they skip it. If they feel discouraged, they stop. If it's uncomfortable, they delay it. That's preference. That's immaturity. That's how you stay stuck. But principle's different. Principle says I do it because it's right, not because it's easy. Principle says I honor my word even when my mood has changed. Principle says I show up on the days I don't feel like it because those are the days that count the most. Your preferences are rooted in comfort. Your principles are rooted in character. Preference will always whisper, take it easy, but principle shouts, do what's required. And here's the truth. Preference feels good in the moment, but principle produces legacy. You can choose temporary relief or long-term results, but not both. You will never reach your calling living at the mercy of your feelings. Feelings are indicators, not dictators. Principle is what gives your life structure, order, and power. When you live by principle, your life becomes predictable in the best way. You become consistent. You become trustworthy. You build momentum. You no longer rely on motivation because you're anchored in conviction. And that's what separates the average from the exceptional. The successful don't feel like it every day. They've just made a decision that what they decided to do matters more than what they feel like doing. So if you want to see transformation in 30 days, make this shift. Stop negotiating with your emotions and start obeying your principles. That's when your habits gain power. That's when your life aligns with purpose. That's when things change, not just on the outside, but deep within your identity. The power of small wins is one of the most overlooked forces in personal transformation. Everybody's chasing the big breakthrough, the six-figure month, the dream body, the platform, the applause. But the truth is, big breakthroughs are built on the back of small, consistent victories. Success doesn't happen all at once. It's not one giant leap. It's 1,000 small steps in the same direction, taken when no one is clapping and no one is watching. Every time you do what you said you would do, even in the smallest form, you build trust with yourself. And self-trust is the foundation of confidence. When you tell yourself, I'm going to get up at 6 a.m. and you actually do it, that's a small win. When you drink water instead of soda, that's a small win. When you spend 15 minutes reading instead of scrolling, that's a small win. And those wins compound. They stack. They grow. Before you know it, you're not the same person anymore, not because of one dramatic decision, but because of dozens of daily disciplines. Small wins create momentum, and momentum is more powerful than motivation. Motivation fades. Momentum fuels itself. Once you string a few wins together, your identity begins to shift. You go from someone who tries to someone who executes, from someone who talks to someone who takes action, from someone who hopes to someone who produces. It's not about perfection. It's about progress. And every win, no matter how small, is proof that progress is happening. Don't despise small beginnings. Don't overlook the unseen victories. Every win is a seed, and seeds grow into systems. You don't need to leap, just take the next faithful step. Over time, those steps become a stride. That stride becomes a walk. That walk becomes a run. And soon, you'll look up and realize you're living in the harvest of habits you planted with faith, obedience, and persistence. So celebrate your small wins. They're not just steps forward. They're bricks in the foundation of your destiny. You don't get what you want, you get what you are. That truth alone can shake you awake if you let it. Everybody wants something. Success, love, wealth, peace, impact. But the world doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to what you embody. Desire is cheap. Identity is expensive. Wanting a new life doesn't create one. Becoming a new person does. You attract who you are, not what you imagine. If you want to live at a higher level, you have to operate from a higher identity. And identity is not formed in a single moment of inspiration. It's forged through repeated action. You don't become disciplined by declaring it once. You become disciplined by showing up every single day when it would be easier not to. You don't become confident by wishing for it. You become confident by doing what builds confidence. Over and over again. The work you do when no one sees you is what decides what the world sees when they look at you. People say they want abundance, but they operate from scarcity. They say they want love, but they carry bitterness. They say they want influence, but they're afraid to speak. The gap between what you want and what you are is the distance you must close through character and consistency. Because you can't fake alignment. You can't mask your habits forever. Sooner or later, your results will tell the truth. If you're not getting the outcomes you desire, the question isn't what am I missing, it's who am I being? Are you being excellent? Are you being faithful? Are you being focused, honest, and diligent? Because outcomes don't lie. Life mirrors your identity. If you want to change your reality, you have to upgrade your standard internally, not externally. Stop trying to get more. Start becoming more. Don't chase results. Become the kind of person that results chase. The dream isn't waiting on the market, the opportunity, or the right timing. It's waiting on you, the real you, to rise up, mature, and become the version of yourself that can handle what you've been praying for. Because at the end of the day, life doesn't give you what you wish for. It gives you what you are. Success is a spiritual law, not just a strategy. It's not random, and it's not reserved for the lucky or the privileged. It's governed by principles that are as real and unchanging as gravity. You don't stumble into success, you align with it. You activate it by obeying the laws that produce it. And when you violate those laws, you delay your destiny, no matter how much talent or ambition you have. God is not the author of confusion. He designed the universe to respond to order, stewardship, diligence, and faith. These aren't motivational buzzwords. They are spiritual laws. The same way a seed produces a harvest when planted in good soil, your actions produce outcomes when rooted in obedience. If you're not seeing the harvest you want, you have to check the soil of your habits, the consistency of your planting, and the purity of your intention. Success responds to the unseen just as much as the seen. You can't manipulate your way into it. You can't cheat the system. You might look like you're winning for a moment, but if your foundation is broken, collapse is inevitable. True success, lasting success, is built on integrity. It's built on honoring commitments. It's built on excellence when no one is watching. That's not just personal development. That's spiritual alignment. When you walk in excellence, when you take dominion over your thoughts, your actions, your time, heaven backs you. Doors open, not just because you knocked, but because you were prepared to walk through them. Favor follows faithfulness. Blessing follows obedience. Multiplication follows stewardship. That's how the spiritual law works. God doesn't bless laziness. He doesn't bless mediocrity. He blesses those who are faithful with little, because he knows they'll be faithful with much. So if you want to experience success, don't just copy tactics, live in alignment. Ask yourself daily, am I in agreement with the laws that govern breakthrough? Am I working with the flow of divine order, or am I resisting it with excuses and inconsistency? Because you can't pray for what your character is not prepared to carry. And you can't walk into overflow with a mindset of lack. Success isn't just about getting more, it's about becoming more. And becoming more is spiritual. It's a process of refinement, obedience, and stewardship. You don't need to chase it. You need to align with it. Because once you do, success isn't a matter of if, it becomes a matter of when. Habits don't just transform your schedule, they transform your soul. Most people think habits are just about productivity, waking up early, hitting the gym, checking off a to-do list. But that's surface level. The deeper truth is that every habit you keep is shaping who you are becoming at the core of your being. Habits are not just actions, they are agreements you make with your future. They are evidence of what you truly believe, not what you say you believe. When you commit to a habit, you're not just changing your calendar, you're shifting your identity. If you discipline your body daily, you're becoming someone who values health, strength, and stewardship. If you spend quiet time every morning in prayer or reflection, you're becoming someone anchored in faith, not fear. If you honor your commitments, even the small ones, you're becoming someone of integrity. And all of that doesn't just shift what you do, it shapes who you are. So that's why habits are spiritual. They dig deep into the soul. They either reinforce truth or they reinforce lies. They either build your character or erode it. When you let destructive habits stay in your life, even if they seem small, they chip away at your sense of worth. your clarity, and your alignment with purpose. But when you practice habits rooted in discipline, excellence, and alignment with higher principles, your soul begins to thrive. You stop living in conflict with yourself. You stop carrying guilt. You start walking in peace, not because life is easier, but because you are stronger. Transformation isn't about dramatic, overnight change. It's about who you become through repeated, intentional action. Your soul finds strength when your life is in alignment. Your spirit gets louder when your flesh gets disciplined. There's something powerful that happens when your daily actions match your divine assignment. That's when clarity comes. That's when energy rises. That's when doors open, not just in the world, but in your spirit. So stop viewing habits as chores and start viewing them as spiritual warfare. Every time you choose the habit that aligns with your higher self, you're silencing the voice that wants to keep you small, lazy, and average. Every disciplined decision is a vote for the person you're called to become. And eventually your soul starts to recognize itself in the mirror. Not the version shaped by fear or past failures, but the version shaped by truth, action, and divine alignment. Because real change isn't just about how you live your day, it's about who you're becoming through how you live it. Delayed gratification is the price of legacy. And until you embrace that truth, you will keep trading your future for your feelings. We live in a world obsessed with instant results, fast money, quick fame, microwave success, but legacy doesn't work like that. Legacy is slow cooked. It's built brick by brick, decision by decision, day by day. And every time you delay pleasure for purpose, you're laying down a foundation that generations can stand on. The problem is most people are addicted to now. They want the feeling without the fight. They want the prize without the process. But what you get too easily, you value too little, and what comes quick leaves quicker. That's why greatness requires delay. It demands sacrifice. It calls you to look beyond what feels good today and stay loyal to what will matter decades from now. You don't build a legacy with shortcuts. You build it with faithfulness. Delayed gratification is proof that you trust the process. It means you can say no to distractions, no to comfort, no to the crowd, because you see something they don't. You're not working for applause today. You're planting seeds for a harvest tomorrow. You're not living for approval. You're living for impact. And that's what separates people who make noise from people who make history. When you delay gratification, you take control. You master your appetite instead of being mastered by it. You stop being reactive and start being intentional. You stop chasing stimulation and start cultivating purpose. It's in those moments when you feel like quitting, giving in, or settling, and you don't, that you become stronger. Every delay is a deposit. Every not yet is an investment. Every time you choose purpose over pleasure, you're saying, I'm not just here to succeed, I'm here to build something that lasts. And make no mistake, legacy isn't built in a single moment of glory. It's built in the private, uncelebrated choices, the early mornings, the lonely work, the silent obedience. That's the price. That's the cost. And if you're not willing to delay gratification, you'll disqualify yourself from the very thing you were designed to carry, because legacy requires weight, and you can't carry weight if you've been weakened by comfort. So ask yourself, are you living for the moment or for the mission? Because the people who change the world aren't the ones who indulge in everything now. They're the ones who discipline themselves for what matters most. And when your eyes are on legacy, delay doesn't feel like punishment. It feels like preparation. It feels like purpose. It feels like destiny being forged in the fire of patience. So here's the truth. Your life will not change by chance. It will change by choice. Not a one-time choice, but a daily decision to show up, to grow up, and to live by principle instead of preference. You don't need more inspiration. You need alignment. You don't need more time. You need more intention. Because when you align your habits with your purpose, when you stop chasing motivation and start honoring discipline, you become unstoppable. Wake up with purpose. Feed your mind before your body. Move daily. Do the hard things first. Reflect every night. These aren't just habits. They're declarations. Declarations that say, I refuse to live beneath my calling. I refuse to let comfort steal my crown. I refuse to die with potential still in me. The person you're called to be is on the other side of these habits. Not someday, today. You are not here to survive, you are here to reign. But dominion requires discipline. And discipline births transformation. Not just in your schedule, but in your soul. Your identity will shift. Your spirit will strengthen. Your confidence will rise. And your life, brick by brick, day by day, will become a reflection of who you were always meant to be. This isn't about height. This is about honor. Honor the gift. Honor the calling. Honor the one who gave you breath by using every day with intention. If you can commit to these 5 daily habits, not for the crowd, not for the claps, but for your calling, then 30 days from now, your life won't just look different, it will be different. And not because something magical happened, because you decided to become the kind of person who creates miracles through obedience. You don't get what you want, you get what you are. So become it, live it, walk in it, and watch your entire life transform.